I will try to keep it short. Sorry about the length and my poor vocabulary. I, a 35-year-old female, have been with my boyfriend, a 40-year-old male, for almost a year. Shortly after we started dating, I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him. Normally, I am pretty conservative when it comes to making decisions like that, falling in love quickly without logic, but we aligned perfectly and our differences complemented each other. After 5 months of dating, he moved into my place when his lease ended. I kept paying the rent as usual, and he covered groceries and outings, maybe 3 to 4 times a week. Shortly after, we discussed moving to another state once his studies were over so he could pursue his business goals. I wanted to support him, so I took a leap of faith. Everything was perfect. I was so in love with him. My friends adored him, and everyone supported our relationship. I put most of my furniture into storage or donated it. He said we would get new pieces for our new place so it could feel like our home. I also donated a good chunk of my clothes. A week before the move, he had an issue with his international credit card and it was canceled, so he started using mine. I did not suspect anything. Then we moved to the new city, which is quite expensive. That is when things began to fall apart. We were supposed to have a fully furnished apartment for 2 to 3 months until we found our own place. But he kept delaying the move due to various issues, and we ended up staying in hotels for 2 weeks. I was exhausted from living in hotels while working full-time. I finally suggested using my credit card to rent the apartment, which cost almost $20,000. He kept postponing the date he would pay me back. I asked him for a bank statement, but I still gave him the benefit of the doubt, thinking he was just going through a small hiccup. Then I asked for his tax returns, since he told me he could not show me his account. But he did not show me any proof. We spent more than $30,000 from my account at this point. I became restless because my credit card payment was due. I was upset because I really do not like living in uncertainty, and I did not know what was happening to my life. After days of arguments and fights, I finally spoke to one of his family members. They confirmed that he had no money and that his family had been supporting him financially the entire time he was in this country. At that moment, all the anger and despair disappeared. I had clarity. It was not about money being stuck in some account or poor planning. He lied about everything related to his career, success, and financial situation. He never had a real job, except for a couple of years in his 20s. I realized I had been dating the person he wanted to be, not who he truly was. I had been in love with an illusion, an insecure man living in a delusion. I was heartbroken. The life we had planned together was gone. I told him that if he had just been honest before uprooting my life, we could have had a very different conversation. I might have been willing to talk things through and fixed a relationship and built him a career if he had been truthful before his lies went too far. We had long conversations that how he feels insecure, his regrets, how he started lying, where his life went wrong. He says he wants to change and become a better person, for himself first. He believes that after a year, he can come back and we can try again. I do not know how to move forward given the circumstances. I loved him so much, and I truly believe he loves me too. Am I deluding myself into believing he can really change? So to start, I have never had much of a problem with my husband's grandma while we were dating in the first 2 years of our marriage. This was until we ended up buying a house from my husband's uncle and moved in right away, as we were expecting our second child and the house we were renting wasn't going to be big enough for our family. This house shares a long driveway with my husband's grandma. I have a big feeling this is why my husband's aunt and uncle wanted to move out as fast as they did. Ever since we moved in, we have had problems with the grandma. We have told her numerous times to please call before showing up to our house. We love our privacy, and our kids sometimes are napping when she decides to show up. I almost always keep the door locked since we live in the country and I'm a stay-at-home mom who's alone a lot. She will either let herself in if I end up forgetting to lock it after going outside for something, or she will pound on the door if it's locked and I don't answer it. Then, if I open the door, I'm met with, "You're trying to lock me out," and other comments.
She has even resorted to peeking in our windows and walking around our house trying to peek inside. She will also show up sometimes at 8 p.m. when I'm getting our kids to bed. Whenever she visits, she always points out flaws with my house, cleaning, do-it-yourself projects, and so on. She got mad at me because I painted chairs that I bought a color she didn't like, and I also stained her kitchen table, which all turned out amazing, by the way, and she threw a fit. I have a 25-month-old who's into everything and a 5-month-old. My house isn't always perfect, and she thinks it has to be. Her house is a mess, but whenever she comes over, she always picks apart mine. One day she showed up randomly, and I simply said, "Please excuse the house, it's a little messy," and she said, "A little bit," very rudely, and laughed to herself. She also makes nasty comments like saying, "What, are you starving? Mommy didn't feed you, did she?" whenever my daughter points to the cookie jar. She's super rude, bossy, controlling, and even two-faced. She constantly gossips about people behind your back to others, and I feel like I have to walk on glass around her. She throws these pity parties very often if she doesn't get her way. She was having my daughter take bite from a sandwich the grandma already bit all over, and I said, "No, we aren't going to do that," and put my daughter on the floor. Then his grandma was like, "Come on, she was enjoying the sandwich." To top it off, we aren't able to have parties at the uncle's giant barn or house anymore, so now she wants all the parties to be here, at my house, and tells people that it's going to be here. I have to occasionally be the one to tell people there's no party here, and if we do have a party here, no one helps at all. My husband and I have tried to talk to her so many times. We have tried telling her to call before she arrives, keep her opinions to herself if they're going to be rude, ask us for permission instead of inviting random people over to our house for a party, and the list goes on, but it's like she doesn't care. I don't know how else to tell her. I've told her kindly, and I've also gotten snappy about it. What would be the best way to deal or talk to someone like this? I don't know what to do or say. Cutting her off is not an option, although sometimes I wish it was. I don't mean to sound like a negative Nancy, but I'm at my wit's end and have no idea what else to do. We have been together 3 years now. We come from 2 different worlds, but for the most part, we're a good match, and we have fun together. He says the comments do not apply to me, but I think they do. First off, just to explain how poor I was growing up, my mom was terminally ill pretty much my entire life. After she passed, my dad stopped talking to me and my brother. At 16, I moved into my car. After years of on and off homelessness and crappy jobs, I started working as a waitress at a pretty nice restaurant and was able to rent a crappy room. This, to me, was absolute luxury, having my own room. I met him at around midnight walking home from work. He saw me and was concerned about me and wanted to help me, so I gave in and let him drive me home. I ended up agreeing to go out with him, but I was in a lot of debt and obviously struggling. He was not judgmental at all. He helped me get out of it. I moved into his home. We obviously ended up engaged. He is truly an amazing guy, but I do not understand how he differentiates me from others in the same scenario. We have a good life now. I am a housewife, which for someone like me, after years of chaos, is extremely peaceful and amazing. He works in law. We are planning on having a baby soon. So this is not something I want to leave him over. It is more that I am looking for help on how to better communicate with him. He knows everything, and he knows I was homeless, but he will say things about homeless people being dirty or needing to get off their ass and work right in front of me. But he literally was the one that pulled me out of that. I could have very well and probably would have ended up back in that situation. I asked him what is different about me and the homeless man he was talking about, and he laughed and said it was not even comparable, so no real explanation. We were laying in bed the other night and talking about the cost of living in our area, and he made a joke he liked it and hoped it continued to go up because he does not want the people who cannot afford it in his neighborhood. And I was just like, okay, but that is me. And he says it is not because it is not anymore. But he is basically saying, in my mind, that if I were single and still in a bad situation, I am right there with the people he's insulting. There was also another time we were shopping on Rodeo Drive. and some guy was asking me for money for coffee. I was trying to find my wallet, and he pulled me away. He did actually give this guy money, but he was pissed I was talking to him. He said if he wants money, he can get a job, and also said it is dangerous for me to talk to them. But as someone who lived it, I know most of these people are good people. I understand using caution, but genuinely, most are good. He literally let me in his car the first night we met. He thought I was homeless and was not scared of me. He says I am thinking way too much, and it has nothing to do with me. But I just can't help but think, what did you truly think of me when we met?
So my boyfriend and I have been together for about a year now. We are very close with each other's families. He is an amazing guy, and I really do love him. And that is what's making this so difficult. In our relationship, sometimes he gets angry and will say things like "fuck you" and just be super rude. It is like when he is mad, he forgets I am his girlfriend and treats me like a stranger. And it honestly has started to scare me. I know he would never hit me, but I always get scared when people raise their voice. There was one time I tried to comfort him by grabbing his arm, and he ripped me off of him. After that happened, he went to his car and was crying. He says he does not know why he is like that, and he hates it, and he wants to change. So during the second most recent argument we had, I told him after that I want him to work on the anger because I feel as if I cannot talk to him about issues. I offered podcasts, books, therapy, but he claims he does not have time for it, so he cannot. And I just told him to find something that works. The most recent argument, however, was our worst one yet. I drove up to his campus and went to his dorm to surprise him and set up decorations. 2 of his friends were with me. We had original plans to meet at a coffee shop, but it was a 5-minute walk to his dorm, so I assumed it would be okay. As soon as he texted me that he was out, I told him to come to his dorm. Then he started to blow up on me over text. "Why are you like this? Fuck you. Okay, I'm just going to your car." I was super upset at this point, and both of his friends saw this and were in utter shock. One of them saw his texts. Once he made it to the dorm and realized his friends were there and everything was decorated, he did not say thank you. He talked to his friends about his day, then gave me a side hug. So I asked his friends to leave for a minute, and we had one of the worst arguments we have ever had. It pretty much ended with me saying, "If you snap at me like this again, I do not think I can be with you." It felt terrible. My entire trip up there felt ruined. I do not want to break up with him, but it is coming to a point where he has texted me this stuff while I'm with my friends. And I have started to get migraines from the amount of stress I am under. I'm just scared that when the time comes, I will not have the strength to end it. So how do I keep the strength to end it? I know that when it happens again, he is going to do it and then apologize and say he does not want to lose me and everything. I'm scared I'm not going to be able to break up with him. My 35-year-old wife has been asking why I did not do better in life. Okay guys, so I have been married for 5 years now. Everything has been pretty good considering my wife is beautiful, funny, and awesome. I am a fully qualified plumber, earn pretty good money, and save kind of well. My wife works a retail job. My job was never an issue and never mentioned negatively until very recently when she met up with her old best friend from high school and university somewhat recently. For context, my wife is, and she will back this up, very attractive, and I am kind of punching. I already knew her and her friend were very popular when they were younger. It has always been a joke that she would not have talked to me when we were at school if we had met, because I was more of a regular guy, I guess. These things are relevant. Her friend married a guy who now owns some engineering firm or business and is obviously very well off, similar age to me. The friend does not work, stays home, goes to the beach, etc. during the day, and her husband has a nice car, a wakeboarding boat, an investment property, and other luxuries. My wife met with her friend about 3 to 4 weeks ago for the first time in a couple years, and the second my wife came back, she kept saying how her friend was doing so well, how lucky she is to not have to work, etc. This was the end of it, until about a week after when they caught up for drinks this time, and I picked my wife up, and she was a bit drunk. In the car, she asked, "Did you study at school? How come you never started a business?
and just a couple insulting questions I felt kind of bad about. I ignored them, but during the drive, she continued to mention how her friend does not have to work and how her friend was going on about how she did not ever expect my girlfriend to have to work a normal job, etc. Well, this past week, my wife has continued to prod and ask questions about why I am not higher up at my job, if I do not try at work, if I am settling career-wise, etc. She admitted to me she wishes she did not have to work, and it is not her dream to be working a job every day. I feel really bad about myself, and have been looking online for jobs that pay higher out of curiosity. Not much does that I could even remotely qualify for. I told her I am sorry and that I'm trying my best, and she has been a bit dismissive of it. Where do I go from here? How do I tell my wife it is not possible for her to be a stay-at-home wife?